Lieutenant Alex Morrison regained consciousness in the wreckage of his scout ship on an uncharted planet designated Epsilon. The crash had been catastrophic, a navigation malfunction during routine mapping, atmospheric entry tearing his ship apart. He survived through luck and redundant safety systems, but his ship was destroyed. Long-range communications offline, emergency beacon broadcasting on frequencies that might not reach anyone for months. Alex was a xenolinguist before joining the exploratory service, trained to study alien languages and communication systems. But that expertise seemed useless when stranded alone on a planet with no sentient life detected. Until the third day, when he encountered her. She appeared at the crash site's edge while Alex salvaged materials, a humanoid figure, clearly sentient, watching with cautious curiosity. Long, elegant ears that moved expressively, luminous eyes adapted for lower light, slender build suggesting agility. She wore simple but well-crafted clothing, carried tools indicating technological sophistication. Relief flooded Alex. Sentient life meant possible help, communication, rescue coordination. He approached slowly, hands raised in peace, speaking standard galactic. "Hello, my name is Alex. My ship crashed. Can you help me?" She stared blankly, her long ears angling in what might be confusion. He tried other languages from his database, Terran variants, common trade languages, obscure dialects. Nothing registered. She responded in her own language, melodic, with tonal variations and clicking sounds his translator couldn't process because it wasn't in any known linguistic database. They were completely unable to communicate. Alex gestured at himself, said his name slowly. She seemed to understand the concept, responded with a sound he approximated as Lyra. She pointed at things, sky, ground, wreckage, and spoke words he couldn't comprehend. He tried to repeat them. His pronunciation was terrible. She tilted her head with what might be amusement. This continued for an hour, basic communication, attempts yielding almost nothing except confirmation that they spoke utterly incompatible languages. Most people would have given up. But Alex was a xenolinguist, and Lyra kept coming back, bringing food and water, showing him edible plants and safe sources. She was trying to help despite the barrier, and Alex realized she was as curious about him as he was about her. So he made a decision that would define the next several months. He was going to learn her language, word by word, sound by sound, until they could actually communicate. Learning an alien language without reference materials, dictionaries, or shared framework was extraordinarily difficult. Alex started with basics, pointing at objects, having Lyra say the words, repeating until his human vocal cords could approximate the sounds. Water, food, sky, ground. Lyra understood what he was trying to do and participated actively, speaking slowly, correcting his pronunciation with patient repetition. Her language, which Alex privately called Velayan, was tonal, meaning the same sound at different pitches meant different things. It had clicking consonants requiring tongue positions his anatomy wasn't designed for. It had grammatical structures utterly alien to human linguistic patterns. But Alex was methodical and persistent. He created a makeshift dictionary using salvaged materials, writing phonetic approximations and meanings. He practiced constantly. Lyra brought others from her community, a small village several kilometers away. They were cautious but curious about the alien who fell from the sky. Alex learned that Lyra was some kind of scholar or teacher, which explained her patience with his fumbling attempts. The village elders were less trusting, watching from a distance, their long ears flat with suspicion. But Lyra advocated for him, and gradually he was allowed limited interaction. He learned basic Velayan through immersion, children teaching him games, hunters teaching names of animals and plants, artisans teaching words for tools and materials. After 2 months, Alex could manage basic conversations, simple present tense, rudimentary vocabulary, terrible grammar but comprehensible meaning. During these months, Alex came to appreciate Velayan culture. They were peaceful and agrarian with rich artistic traditions, their music hauntingly beautiful, their visual art incorporating mathematical patterns he recognized from xenolinguistic studies. And Lyra was remarkable. Intelligent, curious, endlessly patient with his language struggles. She asked questions about his world, his people, his journey, or tried to, and Alex tried to answer with limited vocabulary. They communicated in broken Velayan, supplemented by gestures, drawings, and mutual determination to understand each other. One evening, sitting beside the fire in Lyra's dwelling, Alex managed to string together a question. Why? You help me, I strange. Different, why you care? Lyra was quiet, searching for simple words. You, try, you want understand that. Important, you not run, you stay, learn that, show, respect. It was the first real exchange of ideas. And Alex realized she was right. His willingness to learn her language instead of expecting her to adapt had shown respect for her culture. That respect built trust. 4 months after the crash, Alex was conversationally functional in Velayan. His grammar was awkward, his vocabulary limited, but he could engage in actual conversations beyond basic needs. The breakthrough came when he realized Velayan encoded relationship dynamics directly into verb conjugations. The same action word changed depending on whether you spoke to family, friends, strangers, or honored guests. It was beautiful and complex, and understanding it unlocked whole dimensions of meaning. Lyra was delighted by his progress. You speak like child now, she told him, her long ears expressing amusement. Before, you speak like broken stones, now you speak like young child, much better. Alex laughed, knowing she was both teasing and genuinely complimenting. His relationship with the village evolved too. He was no longer the strange alien. He was Alex, the one who learns, who tries despite difficulty, who shows respect by embracing their language. He helped with harvests, learned their crafts, participated in community life. He was still waiting for rescue, but he was no longer merely surviving. He was living. One day, Lyra took him to a sacred site where ancient Velayan writing was carved into stone. We write here, she said, running fingers over carved symbols, so future ones remember. Remember where we come from, remember important things. She paused. I won't write about you, about Sky person who crashed and learned our words. Is this acceptable? Alex was moved. To be included in their permanent record, to have his presence acknowledged as significant, it was an honor he didn't expect. It is very acceptable. I am honored. They spent the afternoon working together on the inscription, their collaboration a perfect demonstration of how far they'd come. As the sun set, Lyra said, Before you came, I think language is just tools, words for things, but you show me language is bridge, connect people, make understanding possible. She met his eyes. Thank you for learning my words, thank you for caring enough to try. Alex realized this experience had changed him too. He'd studied xenolinguistics academically, analyzing languages as intellectual puzzles. But learning Velayan from Lyra taught him that language was more than grammar. It was culture, identity, connection, the medium through which souls touch. 6 months after the crash, rescue finally arrived. A search vessel picked up Alex's beacon and sent a landing party. They found him healthy, integrated into the local community, speaking an unknown language fluently enough to serve as translator. The rescue team was shocked by his transformation. Lieutenant Morrison had become someone who'd chosen to fully immerse himself in an alien culture, who'd become part of their community. The captain offered immediate extraction, but Alex hesitated. He looked at the village, at Lyra, at the life he'd built. I need time to say goodbye properly, to finish what I started. The captain agreed to delay departure for 2 days. Alex spent that time with Lyra and the community, explaining what would happen, promising to advocate for their world's protection. He taught the rescue team basic Velayan. On the final evening, Alex and Lyra sat by the fire. Their conversation was fully in Velayan now. Alex's fluency had reached the point where he thought in her language. I don't want to leave, Alex admitted. These months, learning your language, being part of your community. It's been the most meaningful experience of my life. Lyra's long ears drooped with sadness. But you have people who worry, family, friends, world where you belong, you must return. Will you remember me? How could I forget? You are written in stone now, and also, she touched her heart. Here, written in memory, the Sky person who cared enough to learn our words. Alex gave her his linguistic notes, months of documentation on Velayan language and culture. Keep this safe. Maybe someday others will come. These notes will help them understand your people. You give us gift of bridge between worlds, thank you. When Alex boarded the rescue ship, he looked back one final time. Lyra stood at the edge, raising her hand in farewell. He raised his in return, speaking one final sentence in perfect Velayan. "You changed my life. I will carry your words forever." Years later, Alex was considered the foremost expert on Velayan culture and language. He'd published the first comprehensive grammar and dictionary, advocated for the planet's protection, and trained diplomats who would establish formal relations. When students asked why he was so passionate about this particular language, he told them about being stranded, about meeting Lyra, about choosing to learn her language word by word. "She couldn't speak my language, and I couldn't speak hers, but instead of accepting that barrier, we built a bridge. Every word I learned was a step closer to understanding not just her language, but her world, her culture, her soul." He paused, remembering. True communication requires effort, patience, and genuine desire to understand. And when you make that effort, when you care enough to learn someone's language on their terms, you build something deeper than translation. You build connection that transcends words themselves. And on Epsilon, in a village at the cliff's base where ancient history was carved in stone, there was a new inscription. It told the story of Alex, the sky person who learned to speak